Good evening, Ma'am Love, my dear friend. As one of our requirements in education 019, which is comparative education, together with my co-members, we are tasked to conduct an ambush interview to school heads in our district who can share with us their expertise and ideas in the field of education. So, it is my pleasure to introduce to you my friend, very multitask person, outstanding officer in charge of Tinaan Norte Elementary School, District of Leon 2, Mrs. Lovely Sitayona. Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Namja. It is my pleasure to be interviewed by one of the outstanding teachers in our district, a former colleague as one of the strong and dedicated officer in charge of the District of Leon 2.
I am so grateful as you accept this challenge to be my interview this evening. So, without further ado, let's start. Are you ready, Mom? First question. What learning delivery modality does your school adopted? Ma'am?
In our school, we implemented the printed modular learning delivery modality, in which the teachers prepare the learning materials weekly, study guides, and other enrichment activities of the learners.
Okay, Ma'am. So, as the officer in charge of Tinaan Norte Elementary School, what are the best practices in your school which are effective in the delivery of the modular learning modality amidst COVID-19 pandemic?
Here are the best practices we have in school, which are effective in the printed modular learning modality. If the modules are not available, the teachers will craft the activity sheets as a supplementary activities for the learners. We prepared a simulation video for the distribution and retrieval of the modules, and this is posted in the Facebook page of the school. For the distribution, there are assigned parent leaders per barangays. They are tasked to get their modules in school or in the designated area for the far-flung barangays. The teachers created a group chat for the parents and the learners. This is to ensure the learners' progress were monitored and the teachers were ready to cater the questions of the parents when it comes to modules.
The third question, ma'am. How ready is your school in implementing this modular learning modality in terms of the school facilities, the teachers, and as well as the parents?
Our school is ready for the implementation of the modular learning modality. We purchased printers for every grade levels and also inks and bond papers through our MOOE and also donations from our stakeholders. Our school installed hands-free washing facilities, entrance and exit, classrooms with foot baths and disinfectants. We have also alcohol dispensers, thermal scanners, alcohols, and extra face masks for the visitors and for our parents. We have our holding area for those who are not feeling well or who have high temperature.
Okay, ma'am. So, for the last question, what challenges did the school encounter in preparing for this modality? And what is your intervention to cope up with these challenges?
With the problems we encountered, we come up with some solutions. In reading difficulty, we crafted a project, an innovation in reading. This project is called Lantaw Kag Magbasa. This project focuses on the learners with reading difficulty and non-readers in grade 1. We assess the learners, and those non-readers and struggling readers will be the recipient of the project. They were given reading materials through videos. Each were given a soft copy of videos where they can play it on TV or in laptop. With this, the child may develop his reading ability or love for reading. They can read without the guidance of their parents or the teachers. But of course, this has to be monitored by our teachers to ensure that the child is really doing his part and to monitor the progress of the child in reading. As I've said a while ago, we have a group chat for our parents. This is to cater all the queries of our parents regarding the problems of the children and also with the modules.
Very well said, Mom. It is indeed a fruitful overview. Thank you so much, Mom, for despite the hectic schedule and more reports to be done, still you manage your time to be with me this evening. Thank you and more power. God bless.
It is my honor to introduce the outstanding Head Teacher 3 of Cararaan Elementary School, District of Leon 2, no other than Mr. Bal C. Abintin. Thank you, sir, for accepting this interview and for your willingness to share your expertise.
What learning delivery modality does your school adopted, sir?
Our school implements modular learning modality because this is the most suitable modality in our school setting.
As a school administrator, what are the school's best practices that are effective in the delivery of learning modality that you adopted amidst COVID-19 pandemic, sir?
For our best practices, first, we conducted MEA, Monitoring, Evaluation, and Adjustment, to address challenges our school encountered in the implementation of the learning modality. Second, alumni partnership to provide necessary materials for the modality we implemented. Third, Word and Number Smart. This is a supplementary reading materials for beginning reading and drill materials for 4 basic operations in mathematics as foundation to produce literate and numeric learners amidst this COVID-19 pandemic.
How ready is your school in implementing this modality, sir?
Through LDM 1 and 2, internal and external stakeholders consultation, and SBM Wins implementation for safety. Our school is 100% ready in implementing the learning delivery modality, which is modular.
What challenges did the school encounter in preparing for this modality? And what intervention to cope up with that challenges, sir?
The major challenges our school encountered are incomplete modules, difficulty in distribution and retrieval of modules, shortage of printing materials, and exhaustion of printers. With these challenges, we conducted MEA, Monitoring, Evaluation, and Adjustment. Then, we devised best practices to address challenges that our school encountered.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time and for sharing your school's best practices. It is indeed a significant and consequential interview. God bless you, sir.
morning. We would like to welcome our interviewees this morning regarding the best practices on the educational system of the Philippines in terms of the learning modalities. So let me introduce to you our invited interviewees. This is the tandem of a husband and wife, the teacher and the public schools district supervisor, no other than Mr. and Mrs. Guevara. Sir Marielito Guevara is my co-teacher at Pandak Elementary School in the district of Pavia. And then Ma'am or Dr. Leonie Guevara is the public schools district supervisor assigned in New Lucena, both in the second district. For the first question, what learning delivery modality does your school adopted?
Okay, for the first question, the printed and modular modality was adopted in our school.
Same is true in most of, I think all of the schools in the district of New Lucena, in as much as that is the most viable, as for to be.
Okay, for the next question, Ma'am Ron.
So for question number 2, ma'am, as a public schools district supervisor, what are your school best practices that are effective in the delivery of the learning modality that you adopted amidst the COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay, so in our district, most of the schools are actually mobilizing the maximum participation of our stakeholders, especially tapping the barangay officials, in helping reaching out the pupils and as well as parents who are far from schools. And of course, another is we identify young adults, unemployed professionals, as well as retired teachers for that matter, in order to act as the learner facilitators for our school children, especially those with parents who could hardly facilitate or teach their children. Yes, as much as not all parents are knowledgeable in teaching their children, and in delivering or explaining the content of the modules, so that our LGU, for that matter, had actually allotted several thousands in order to pay or involuntary, in a meager amount, in order to pay the learners for pay. So that the parents that really facilitate their children's learning, they helped out, even especially in kinder to grade 3 pupils. I think that's all, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, as a public school teacher, what are your school's best practices that are effective in the delivery of the learning modality that you adapt against this COVID-19 pandemic?
The participation of our stakeholders, the full cooperation of our stakeholders and parents in participating, especially the distribution of modules on time.
In addition to that, Sir Mike forgot. Actually, I know that you are having the group chat. The group chat.
Yes.
So that you can easily communicate or access to those who have not really understand the content, or you can give your instructions or simple discussion about the content through the use of your group chats. Although I know that not all parents could access the group chat because of internet connectivity issue, But then others are being reached out through texting or
Yes,
calling.
yes. We are also doing that, ma'am.
Yes, I know it.
Okay, so let us proceed to the question number 3. How ready is your school in implementing this modality?
Is it for me or for sir?
For both of you, ma'am.
Okay. Sige, as a district supervisor, as per assessment to my schools back in Lucena, I know that after a year of hurdling all these challenges that we have had, of finding means and ways in order to deliver education to the max, I could say that this year we are even better and we are ready in implementing it. Why? We had a year of scanning all possibilities in order to make or to deliver education possible still beside or despite these difficult times that we have. How much more this year that we had actually had a compilation of all the modules, right? And we even had more printers, more printing materials and supplies, no, from other stakeholders that we have had.
Okay, thank you, Doc. How about sir?
What about this?
How about in our school?
We are also ready.
Okay,
I think
I
we are,
also planning.
we are also ready. Conducting.
Of course. Okay, thank you.
So this time, ma'am, what challenges did your school encountered in preparing for this modality?
More the challenge because it has been almost all of them were addressed na, no? But then firstly, as per experience, I think the topmost challenge or
also is the insufficient of printing materials.
Okay.
And also I think the how to distribute all the modules to all your learners successfully and retrieval of it as well.
Okay, so thank you. And then for the last question, what are your interventions to cope up with the challenges?
Okay, so actually the lack of printing materials was addressed through the linkaging. No, mostly we do have linkaging or the strengthening of linkages like solicitations from our benevolent stakeholders, from the LGU, from our alumni, and even from our parents. We really ask support, especially donation of printing materials like bond paper for that matter, and also in the as far as working parents are concerned, I know that last year we had a difficult time also in reaching out to these kids, especially those with working parents, but then we were able to address that gap through our LGU hired learner support aides. And that is why many of them were able to somehow facilitate to answer the modules and then return it as well. Although our parents, some of our parents could not really teach, shall we say, literate or cannot really deliver the content, even in mother tongue. to their children, we also had a way of pairing our or tapping our SKs, no, young adults, no, in the community, so that somehow, especially those, no, with the cousins and nephews around them, they used to gather, I think, from they used to gather in a place lang, of course, with the maximum health protocol followed, so that their learning or their modules could be facilitated and could be answered, no? And lastly, our division or the schools division of Iloilo is having this SPO cares, wherein we have this academic ease. We really do not demand timely retrieval of the modules being distributed, so that pupils could somehow learn through their own pace. That's it.
So thank you, Doc. How about you, sir? What are the interventions in our school?
One of the interventions is we can also assign and identify possible learning facilitators to aid our teachers, so that the distribution will become successful.
Okay. So thank you, sir.
And then we also solicit from our benefactors, to our parents, by calling, it and through messages.
Meaning using the chats and the text
GC
and the GCs, or texting and calling our parents, no, so as to have a kamustahan with the kids, no, as to whether how are they doing, yeah, especially in answering their modules with the bulk of modules that they distributed to them.
So that's the end of our interview. Thank you so much, Dr. Leonie and Sir Marty, for your time. Despite of your busy schedule in preparing for your upcoming wedding or renewal of your marriage vows. So wishing you happiness, more love, and more years of togetherness, Mom and Sir.
Yes, thank you so much
also
also for the opportunity. Just that the answers might not be perfect, but at least we have air out our ideas somehow now, and we are really happy to help you out in a way that, and good luck also to all of you.
Good luck to your studies.
Thank you so much.
What learning delivery modality does your school adopted?
We opted to have the modular distance learning.
As a parent, what are the best practices of the school which are effective in the delivery of the printed modular learning modality amidst COVID-19 pandemic?
As a parent, I have observed that the school is doing everything to adopt and respond in the new normal. Like they have this scheduling when claiming and submitting of modules, and when going to school, they follow the standard protocol, like always, so wear your face mask, bring your own pens, and they have this temperature scanner and the alcohol station. They also make use of the technology or the social media to faster disseminate information, or when there are announcements for the students and the parents.
How ready are you as a parent in this printed modular learning modality?
Honestly, I was not ready. My son was not ready to have this kind of setup. This is like homeschooling, but I am the teacher, which lies the problem because being patient is not really my strong suit.
What challenges did you encounter in preparing for this modality? What is your intervention to cope up with the challenges?
A lot. This kind of setup is never easy. Our home is not conducive for learning, and distractions everywhere. We have the electronics, the toys, outside noises, and we have the difficulty in having a routine study time. I also have an infant and a toddler, so they require a lot of attention. So unfortunately, my school kid has to do the adjustment. Sometimes he has to self-study, and I will just review his works afterwards, or we have to stay late. We have to study past his bedtime, where everyone is asleep and quiet. And there's this load of modules good for 1 week, which needs to be finished, which I think my kid felt pressured and anxious. So what I did, I let him do the modules at his own pace, and taking a break in between, just letting him do what he wants and a little playtime. And we also set up or made a little space for him as his study place.
Ano ang mahambal mo parte sa sistema kang edukasyon kang aton pungsod sa tulad?
Sa tulad yung kumpara abi sa una, kako hindi bag-o. Sa iba tulad kung kumpara sa una. Halimbawa abi sa mga subject. Kag sa sistema o kung style kang pagpanudlo.
Halimbawa abi kang mga subjects.
Pareho sa mga subjects sa nadumduman ko. Sa una, tag-anom, hasta 8 ka-area ang mong subject. Tulad may mother tongue, bisan ako di kaintindi, ka mga tinaga ginapamangkot kang bata ko. Kung hindi ta na pamaan, bisan karay aman kami. Tapos, nagdugang pakatinuig sa pag-eskwela kang kabataan, ang kinder, requirement sa kabataan, tapos 2 ka tuig nga dugang sa high school.
Ang ini nga mga pagbag-o may daraman nga bintaha kag disbintaha nga madulot sa kabataan nila binagid sanda nga pag-eskwela kag sa mga ginikanan man So ma-focus lang kita sa bintaha. Ano ayhan ang bintaha kang pagbag-o sa sistema kang atong edukasyon sa aton mga kabataan nga naga-eskwela kung sanda makatapos.
Suno sa orientation sa school, kung makatapos kabataan sa high school, kag mangita ka obra mabaton dun sanda kay nasa legal rin sanda nga edad. Kag kung makatapos ang kabataan kang college, kung mag-abroad sanda, dito mag-ubra suno sa kurso nga tinapusan, makaubra sanda nga hindi rin kuno kinanglan nga mag-eskwela pa dito liwat.
Sakto ra kay ang aton curriculum nasa standard rin. Butang balon nga ang graduates naton mangin globally competitive na. So sa sining panahon kang pandemic, ano nga learning delivery modality ang imo ginpili para sa mga kabataan mo?
Kang nagligad, gusto ko mandaad face to face. Pero laman kita mo kay ang ginauna kang gobyerno, safety kang kabataan.
Para tana sa palabuton nga school year nga dya.
Nag-yes man ako sa limited face to face, pero kung hindi gid man pwede kay amo dya tulad sitwasyon kag makadayon ang module wala di mahimo. Sunod na lang kita sa kung ano ang mayad para sa tanan. nag-check man ako ka modular kag limited face-to-face nga may combination kang modular.
Okay, so nabasahan mo man guro ra sa gina-share or post sa Facebook, ginapaintindi ka natin ni Pangulong Duterte nga ang kinaaram kuno maagom pa kang kabataan sa masunod nga tinuig kung may lang ang lawas kaysa marasakit sanda.
Amugid sir
Okay, so bilang ginikanan, ano ang school's best practices nga very effective nga delivery kang learning modality kang eskwelahan nga gin-adapt mo man sining panahon kang pandemic?
Maluwas sa modules ang sa 3 hours program bala nga ginapadaradugang nga barasahon window card, video pareho kang alphabet kag Dolch.
So daw ano ka ready ang school pati ikaw man nga nanay sa pagpa-implement kang amo nga modality?
Kung sa parabuton nga pagbukas ready na servisan paano natapos gani ligat nga klase nga matawhay kag wala gid sing masyado nga problema paagi man sa pagbinigay sang tanan.
Okay, so ang mga challenges or kabudlay tanang na encounter ninyo no sa pagpreparar kang sini nga modality kag ano ang ginhimo ninyo para nga mas malampuhasan ang ini nga mga challenges?
Para ko sir, isa ka ra dyan budget para sa printing kang modules. Pero tungod sa kaalwan kang mga graduate kang school nga may obra daw na solve man sa namon nga ginikanan mabudlay magtudlo pero pagi sa pagbinigay kag nami nga komunikasyon kang mga ginikanan kag maestra bisan paano natapos ang klase nga naobra man kang mga kabataan anda nga ulubrahon.
There is a great challenge ahead of this new normal. This new way of learning brought by COVID-19 pandemic can be an additional challenge during this tough time. There is a lot of adjustments, but one thing is for sure, these modalities and learning presented can continually deliver quality education to our learners. As what DepEd Secretary Leonor Embriones has said, learning will continue, COVID or no COVID. Let's all do the best we can to adjust and make this current situation work. Let us embrace the new normal with open heart and let us move together towards learning continuity.
I know gold is not enough.